Hello and welcome to the October 19th episode of This Week in Kirkland, the official podcast of the City of Kirkland, bringing you timely topics and noteworthy news delivered to you every week. I am your host, Jim Lopez, one of the Deputy City Managers here at the City, joined today by two members of the podcast team.
Kate Ryan.
And hi, David Wolbrecht.
And here are the stories we're covering this week.
The Kingsgate Library turned 50 years old this week.
Woohoo, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Our This Week in Kirkland email newsletter won a national award, and we've got a recap of the October 17th council meeting.
You can apply to serve on the Kirkland Senior Council, and a couple grand reopenings coming your way. Fire Station 22 in the Central Houghton neighborhood, and the Kirkland Women's Club.
Nice. There's free extra yard waste pickup coming up in November. A heads up to our drivers and some other upcoming events, as we always have in our show. But first, the big story this week. We're previewing all the paving, pipe, and pump projects. Try saying that 5 times.
Paving,
pipe, and pump projects at our virtual forum on capital projects. So if you're curious about big construction projects the City of Kirkland has coming up, well, please join our amazing capital improvement program from our Public Works Department.
That's right. So coming up next week, Tuesday, October 24th at 12 p.m., we will have a 1-hour session, and that'll consist of 2 parts. First, a panel discussion of project engineers provide all the details that you could ever think to ask and more on several high-profile projects.
Yeah, that includes the corridor improvements for 100th Avenue Northeast.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's up in one. Jinx.
Then we've got Winnetka Drive up in Finn Hill.
Mm-hmm.
The Northeast 85th Street. That's a big one at I-405.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this one's interesting because a lot of people don't know this, but so WashDOT has started, they've taken out all the trees up there. They've really started grading up at the interchange.
Yeah.
And they're doing their big project, but the city is also doing a lot of city projects related to that big one. So
That's
hear
right.
all the details about that.
Yeah, super helpful. And 124th Avenue Northeast, also in Rose Hill.
That's right.
So the forum will also feature the Stores to Shore Greenway design team. They'll lead a facilitated discussion aimed at improving the 30% concept for the walking and bicycling route. Now, 30% means we're along the way, but there's still possibility for input, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the ink has not dried. And this is a really fascinating one. It'll go from around a Heritage Park-ish area, kind of down by Market, and then up through the Norkirk neighborhood past, I think, Peterkirk Middle, or... Yeah, what's the one up at Crestwoods Park?
Middle.
Yeah, and then across CKC and then up in the Highlands. So it's a really innovative pathway that we're in the process of really conceiving here.
And the greenways are really this kind of effective way of transforming streets to be very safe or safer and conducive to bike pathways. People use the bikes on the streets in an easier way.
Yeah, absolutely. So really fascinating, fun event. Come on out next week. And special thanks to our Public Works Director, Julie Underwood, and her amazing team for putting this informative session together.
Hey, everybody. The Kingsgate Library is celebrating its 50th anniversary this past Saturday. 50 years.
It doesn't look a day over 30.
30.
Yeah.
50 is the new 30.
It's true. It's true.
The day includes a performance by the Juanita High School Jazz Band.
Hey, that was fun.
Remarks from the library board, our Mayor Penny Sweet, and friends of the library, arts and crafts, and a story time. This is a jam-packed afternoon.
Yeah, it was a good time. So just congratulations to the Kingsgate Library for this amazing milestone, and big gratitude for the foundation and our community as a place for folks to learn, grow, and read.
Absolutely. I'm just really curious, though, how they rigged the HVAC to blow out the candles. But maybe we'll reveal that at the next podcast.
It was a wonderful event.
Okay.
Our weekly email newsletter version of this podcast has also won, drumroll please, Anthony, a national award. TWIC is a national award winner.
Woo.
That's right, Jim. So the email newsletter we send out every week accompanying this podcast has won 3rd place in Granicus's 13th annual Digital Government Awards.
The awards span seven award categories, and our newsletter ranked 3rd in trust and transparency. And I gotta say, that's the best.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trust and transparency.
Yeah.
Can't do better than that in government.
It's true. And we're, just so grateful to all of our dedicated readers and now listeners who help us spread the word about the goings-on in Kirkland.
Now, there were 7 award categories. There are a lot of applicants.
Yeah, I think in the press release, Granicus put out they said it was a record number of applicants. So
bravo to the team, Twick. And now we have this.
Hey.
This
all
Week
right.
in Kirkland podcast.
Trying to get the word out, trust, transparency.
And podcasting.
And, yeah.
Also this week, the City Council met on October 17th.
Mm-hmm.
They held a study session before the regular meeting, which included a discussion of the Universal Low Income Rate Discount Program. Really innovative stuff going on right here in Kirkland.
Mm-hmm.
And they also gave an update on the city's capital improvement program.
Mm-hmm. And on the business agenda, which happens after the study session, starting at 7:30, Council reviewed the draft 2024 state legislative agenda and provided feedback to staff on priorities for the final agenda. And this will really guide the city's legislative priorities with the state and other activities on behalf of the full council.
Council also provided direction to staff on code amendments related to the city's purchasing code. Those respond to changes to state statutes, increasing costs, other requirements, and factors that play into how we secure goods and services.
I have to say, because the Twick newsletter is so great and well written, stories like the city's purchasing code probably went a long way for us to win
Trust and transparency
category. Because if you're putting stuff like that out there, which is important.
It is. It absolutely is.
In a way that a format for people to read and enjoy. And now here,
Yeah.
you got to figure you're doing, check the box for trust and transparency.
Yeah, big time.
The next council meeting is November 8th, and you can watch all of this wonderful content on the city's YouTube channel, our website, or our Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And we did say November 8th. That's Wednesday.
Thanks, Kate.
Thank you. Yes, Wednesday. So, if you are a Kirkland community member, 50 years of age or older, and have an interest in advising the city on keeping Kirkland a safe and vibrant community for residents age 50 plus, then please consider applying to join the Senior Council.
Yeah, the Senior Council was established in 2002 by the Kirkland City Council to help advise the city on all sorts of stuff as it relates to older adults here in Kirkland.
Meets monthly for 2 hours, so that's about a 6 to 12 hour monthly commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And the City Council is recruiting new members that live, work, or serve seniors in the city of Kirkland, and they're accepting applicants now through the end of October.
So please join that group. They're a wonderful group. They do great things for our city, and I'm sure it's a lot of fun.
It absolutely
Great
is.
way to spend the day.
It's a fun group.
So we have 2 grand reopenings coming up. The first is the city's reopening of Fire Station 22 in Central Houghton, and that's this Saturday from 2 to 4. Very excited about that.
Super exciting. So if you have driven past there anytime recently,
Yeah.
you have certainly noticed that it's undergone significant renovations. I remember when I drove past and it was like I could literally see through the building because all it was like studs and
Taking it down to the
taking
studs,
it
my
down.
friends.
So yeah, significant renovations. This is for like seismic retrofitting and other purposes. And this was part of Fire and Emergency Medical Services Levy, Fire Prop 1, which was passed by Kirkland voters in 2020.
And when you come on down, you can tour the newly opened station.
Boom.
Meet the fire chief himself.
Joe.
And explore fire trucks.
Everyone's favorite.
We also want to give a shout out to the Kirkland Women's Club, which is having its grand reopening next week.
Yeah, this one's really sweet. So the Kirkland Women's Club is in Norkirk on 1st Street. Come on down on Wednesday, October 25th from 4 to 6. You can learn about the history, the mission,
Super cool.
the volunteer service committees that they offer, things in like arts, education, public matters.
So cool.
Mm-hmm. And it's quite a long-standing community organization. Do you want to guess how long it's been in Kirkland?
I'm going to guess 50 years.
It's a good guess. We have the 50
Everything
years.
seems to be 50 years.
Kingsgate. Yeah.
50 years. That's my guess.
That's a great guess.
I was going to guess 100 years.
That's darn close. 99 years.
Oh,
Whoa.
all right. Wow,
99
coming up on
years.
Centennial.
Kirkland Women's Club. Bravo.
Yeah, and they are a chapter of the General Federation of Women's Clubs, an international volunteer service organization in philanthropy, social and political advocacy, and leadership.
So fall foliage is in full force. It's the writers. I love them. I love them. And that means leaves, my friends. They are a fallen. But fear not, we again provide, you guessed it, free, that's free 99, extra yard waste collection in November.
Well, yeah, hopefully that'll help you get some leaves out of your yard, but we could also use your help with leaves and debris in the street. So leaves and debris can block rainwater from flowing into storm drains, and that, of course, can cause flooding. Now, our crews do work to clean out the storm drains, but do you want to guess how many storm drains there are on Kirkland?
50,000?
It's a bit much, but you're in the ballpark. 17,000.
17,000. Wow.
Yeah, and so we can't get to them all, so we could use your help.
Yeah, so before, during, and after a storm, check the storm drains near your home or business. Make sure they're free of debris. If you can safely do so, here's a couple tips. Don't rake or blow the leaves into the street. Mm-hmm. You can actually get a bill from the city if you're caught doing so.
Fair warning.
That would be a no.
Yeah.
And don't remove the grate. That's a big safety hazard.
Yeah. Cue the, like a coyote, Wile E. Coyote falling off the cliff sound.
You really don't want to do that.
No.
Keep the grates on.
Yeah, keep the grates on.
You can call our 24/7 hotline at 425-587-3900 if flooding is severe and you're unable to clear the drain. So take that number. We'll put it all in the show notes too. Mm-hmm. Hey, if you'd like to tend to some green spaces and not just the leaves in your street, gear up for the Green Kirkland Week.
Hey, yeah. So this is an opportunity to celebrate the start of planting season. Also celebrate our native forest ecosystems, which just surround us here in Kirkland, as well as giving a big shout out to all the wonderful volunteers that care for our natural area parkland.
A great way to participate in Green Kirkland Week is to join a stewardship event. Mm-hmm. We've got 7 of those coming up.
And I think I said last week that there were 8 or 10 or something like that. So I just want to issue my very transparent correction here, that it's actually 7 events.
Well, that event calendar will be in the show notes for people to sign up.
All right, thank you.
We have some traffic alerts for Kirkland drivers. This Saturday, October 21st, the Lake Washington Half Marathon, that would be the half marathon, will cause some traffic delays and parking restrictions in and around Juanita Park. There's also construction projects gearing up around Northeast 85th Street in Rose Hill and along 100th Avenue Northeast in Juanita. So watch out for that.
Mm-hmm. And we mentioned those actually with the forum that's coming up. So those projects are moving now. So just really drivers should be alert and pay attention for any traffic impacts from these projects.
We also have some upcoming events, as we do on the show. We like to highlight some cool things coming up. Mm-hmm. We've certainly mentioned this before, but Kirkland Forest Day is upon us. Woo-hoo. This Sunday from 10 to 4 at 132nd Square Park. Pick up your free trees if you have pre-registered.
Yeah, up to 2. I think we covered this in a prior podcast.
We did.
And so let me get this right. You can go to the Fire Station 22 opening on Saturday, then go to Kirkland Forest Day on Sunday. It's just really a Kirkland full day. It's awesome.
There's a lot of cool things.
Yeah, and we've also featured on the podcast the Pee-wee Monster
Bash.
The
Monster Bash. This one's a carnival, though.
It's true. A kooky carnival for the littles. It's coming up next Friday from 10 to 12 at North Kirkland Community Center. And quick plug, we could actually still use some volunteers to help put on a fun time for the kiddos.
Guaranteed to have fun.
Absolutely.
As a volunteer.
A couple Saturdays from now, we'll have Dia de los Muertos. That'll be 2 to 4 p.m. on Saturday, October 28th at the Peter Kirk Community Center.
And that brings us to our last story this week, my friends. Hey, This Week in Kirkland has won a national award.
Jim.
Didn't we?
Yeah, I don't think that's the last story. You already covered that, Jim.
Yeah, we did cover that. Okay. Well, how about October 19th being the Great Shakeout?
Yep. Okay, there it is.
And so what you may ask is a great shakeout?
Yeah.
It's a great reminder to think about your preparedness for an earthquake.
Yeah. So the Great Shakeout occurred on October 19th at 10:19 a.m. And so even if you missed it, even if you weren't participating then, it's still a good reminder, whether you're at work, home, or school, to just know and remember what to do in case of an earthquake. Have you all been in an earthquake?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
It was, I was in Washington, D.C. at National Gallery of Art. I was down stairs having lunch.
Oh, wow.
It shook, but it was pretty solid building. But
Nice.
it's, earthquakes are nothing to sneeze at.
We're definitely...
How about you, Kate?
Oh, I have felt many earthquakes living in Southern California.
Oh, okay.
I'm used to shaking.
You're used to...
Very calm and collected.
Yeah, just and so what might we do in an earthquake, Kate, in that case?
Well, let me tell you. You'll want to drop, cover, and hold on. It's the first thing to remember. If you're driving, pull over and stop.
Straightforward.
Yep.
If you're outside, get low to the ground and protect your head. If you can't get low, just do your best to protect your head and your neck.
Okay.
And then when the shaking stops, it's great to check for yourself and others in your surroundings to make sure everything's all right.
Got it.
Great advice. Thank you, Kate. So we live along a ring of fire here in the Pacific Northwest, so earthquake reminders are always helpful. But did you know, A, Washington State has experienced at least 20 damaging earthquakes in the last 125 years.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's an average of 6-ish.
That's a lot.
How was that public math? Was that good? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good.
Math in public.
Yeah.
B, Galloping Gertie, the original Tacoma Narrows Bridge, collapsed due to a 7.3 magnitude earthquake.
Oh, I've seen the video. It's galloping.
Gertie was a galloping that day.
It's true.
And C, experts anticipate a massive quake to rock the NBA when the Supersonics come back to Seattle, baby.
Woo! Yeah. Definitely C. Hard C.
I'm voting C because I've heard about the microquakes that happen from the cheers at Lumen Field.
You mean like legitimate microquake?
Like sporting events register on the little things.
The crowds go wild. We shake the ground.
Wow,
Hey.
the plot thickens a little bit.
I see.
But the answer actually is A. Washington State has experienced at least 20 damaging earthquakes in the last
quite a
120
few.
That's a
That
lot.
is a lot.
125
Wait, but Galloping
years.
Galloping Gertie.
Galloping Gertie went down because of high winds.
Ah.
And I think the design was a bit challenging.
Well, we learn as we go. We do our
As
best.
we go.
Live and learn.
Yeah. Well, hey, speaking of bridges, don't forget to attend our Capital Projects Forum coming up next week.
And that does it for this week. You've been listening to This Week in Kirkland. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Special thanks to Anthony Girardi, Chris Peterson, and Sue Romero for their behind-the-scenes magic.
Thank you.
Our next episode is October 26th. Until then,
Stay connected, Kirkland.